Hi, welcome back. Here's the situation we have today. The seller's home was recently listed by a quality listing agent. Now they find themselves reaching for the phone with nervous anticipation each time the phone rings. For what seems like an eternity of waiting for the right caller, it's finally the listing agent who's calling about an offer and needs to review it with the seller. The seller is excited about the call, and rightfully they should be. Later, when they meet with the listing agent and review the offer, the listing agent will review the 5 major contract negotiating points on the offer and provide 3 options to respond with. Do you know what these are? Well, you don't? Stay tuned. We'll get to those right after this. Hi, I'm Bob Weibrecht, a Missouri licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty Gundaker in St. Louis, Missouri. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and click that bell icon for insights and tips into the residential real estate market. I publish new videos every Wednesday, and you don't want to miss a thing. So once the seller receives the good news from their listing agent, they will meet with them, typically in person, but it may be virtual, email, or some other method. The listing agent will review the purchase offer with them. Now that the seller has a real estate offer in hand, and depending on how offers are written in their area, there may be 5 major contract negotiating points to carefully consider prior to responding. These 5 major negotiating points are: 1. The offer price. What is the buyer offering for their listing? Is it in line with what they want, or in line with comparables their agent has shown them? 2. What are the terms? How much earnest money is the buyer offering? What type of loan are they getting? When is the loan commitment? Are they asking the seller to pay any closing costs? Do they have any other requests? Dates. What are the dates for inspections, title work, loan commitment, closing, and possession? Do these dates align with the needs of the seller? 4. Inclusions and exclusions. What does the buyer want the seller to leave in the home? What do they want to have removed prior to closing? And 5. Contingencies. What is the seller contingent upon? Common contingencies include the appraisal, loan, inspections, title and survey, or is there something else they want to be contingent on? As a seller, you will need to consider each of these to decide if they are acceptable to you. Your listing agent may offer suggestions on each, but in the end, they're not accepting the offer. You are. Once you consider the offer carefully, there are 3 ways that you as a seller may respond to the purchase offer. These are: 1. The seller can accept the purchase offer. By accepting the offer, the seller and buyer are now under contract. Congratulations, you're one step closer to selling your home. Remember, the contract dates, at least here in the St. Louis real estate market, begin on the acceptance date. The acceptance date is the date written on the offer by the buyer that the seller should acknowledge the offer by. These may not be the same date as the offer was signed on. 2. The seller can reject the offer and not respond by the acceptance date. The seller has 2 choices depending on how offers are written in your area. Using the St. Louis Realtor's purchase offer as an example, the seller can reject the offer without countering by initialing in the appropriate spot and sending it back to the buyer's agent. Or the seller can just reject the offer without countering and not respond by the acceptance deadline. In either case, the real estate offer expires. Depending on the seller's reason for rejecting or not responding, such as they didn't like one or more of the 5 major components of the offer, the buyers can submit another offer or move on to the next listing. And finally, number 3, the seller can counter the real estate offer. This means the seller likes some of the components proposed in the offer, but wants to make some modifications, usually in their favor. This is done on a counteroffer form here in the St. Louis real estate market. So what is a counteroffer? Can it be negotiated? What is a counteroffer? It is a document submitted to the buyer's agent from the seller's agent accepting the buyer's offer except for the items listed on the counteroffer. These are the items the seller wants to negotiate with the buyer. The seller and buyer are not under contract at this time. When the counteroffer is presented to the buyer's side, the buyer has one of three choices to make, which may sound familiar. These choices are: 1. The buyer can accept the counteroffer as written, which puts both sides under contract. The acceptance date is now the date of the acceptance deadline written on the counteroffer, not the one in the original contract. Check with your agent. Different rules on this may apply in different areas. The buyer can reject the counteroffer without responding to it with another counteroffer. Therefore, the purchase offer expires. Or the buyer can write their own counteroffer with items more to their liking, addressing one or more of the 5 major contract negotiating points. For both buyers and sellers, the offer price is typically the most counterpoint, but there are other common counteroffer items, such as here in the St. Louis market, there is a seller's concession. Did the buyer ask the seller to pay part or all of their closing costs? The seller can negotiate this amount down or even decline to pay it at all. Dates and contingencies. Every real estate transaction is unique. And of course, there are exceptions where the seller may want more or less time to close. This would be adjusting the closing and possession dates. And inclusions and exclusions. These are often addressed in the counteroffer. This includes what personal items does the buyer wish to remain in the house. Common examples of personal items are the refrigerator, washer, and dryer. In the St. Louis Realtor's purchase offer, for example, built-in appliances such as the kitchen stove, dishwasher, disposal, built-in microwave remain with the home, while the refrigerator, washer, and dryer are considered personal items and go with the seller, unless they are negotiated in the purchase offer or the counteroffer. Here in the St. Louis real estate market, and possibly yours too, when multiple counteroffers are written, agreeing that some details but not others, the agreed upon items must be carried to the new counteroffer. How many counteroffers can be written? Well, there's no limit to the number of counteroffers that can be presented to either party. It's a very good idea, though, to limit the number of counteroffers because of the confusion that might result. An important point to keep in mind, though, is that while counteroffers are being negotiated, another offer may arrive that is more to the seller's liking. Here in the St. Louis market, the seller may withdraw their counteroffer to the buyer before it is signed by the buyer. Once an agreement has been reached and documents are signed, the seller and buyer are now under contract. Again, here in the St. Louis market, the acceptance date is the date written on the last counteroffer, not the date written on the original purchase offer. Check with your listing agent for procedures in your area. So what happens next? Does the buyer get to move in once the purchase offer or the counteroffer is signed by both parties? Whoa there. The question you should be asking is, how long does it take to close after the offer's been accepted? That's the job of the closer or the title company here in St. Louis. So now you know the 5th step in buying a home, real estate offers and negotiation. But do you know about the 6th step, the title company? That's next time. See you then. Make it a great day.